All right, we'll see how the light is here. Otherwise, we might move
Right.
over there. Let's see. Hold it up like this. Okay. What's your name?
I'm Amber.
Oh, Amber.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard Emma the first time. Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from Reunion Island.
Oh, okay, very good. And where have you been living the last decade?
I live in Australia on the Gold Coast.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. So, can you tell me what the mind is? Okay. Can you tell me what the soul is?
I guess soul is. It's still hard questions.
Yes. Can you tell me about the brain? What do you know about the brain?
I don't know. I guess it's just it's where we can control the body.
Okay. So there's definitely a part of the brain called the motor cortex, the supplementary motor area, and the cerebellum, and the basal ganglia. These are all parts of the brain that are involved in movement. But what does the rest of the brain do?
Help us think and learn languages and stuff.
Okay, good. Yeah, there's definitely language areas. It helps us think. What do you mean by that?
I guess when the connections between inside the brain creates thoughts, maybe?
Okay, I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah. So where do you fit into that? Sounds like we don't need you. We just got the neurons communicating, and those connections are making thoughts. What are you?
I read them.
You read them. So it's like a ticker tape. You know what a ticker tape is?
No.
It's like I don't know, just a little piece of paper that comes out with the information about what the thoughts are, and then you read them.
I read them and then I make sense of them. Maybe.
You make sense of them.
And then I decide if they're right or wrong.
Okay, then you decide if they're right or wrong. And what if I told you that the ventromedial prefrontal cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex were involved in deciding right and wrong? So then what about you, though? So we would take that out of your jobs. You don't have to decide whether they're right or wrong. Okay, that will be on the ticker tape. That will be on the printout. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But in meditation often they say you don't control your thoughts,
Right.
right?
Right.
But you can look at them and not react to them and stuff like that. So there's got to be something.
When you do react to your thought, is that a brain thing? Is that the brain doing something when you do react to a thought? Or is that a separate system called you? Is it possible that you are your brain?
Probably not.
Probably not, huh? What was that based on? You thought about it. Like,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I do believe in soul, so I guess souls in the brain coexist and work together.
could the soul be biological? Could another word for the soul be the brain?
Sure.
Feels weird to imagine us as just cells.
Yeah.
Seems like there's something missing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Is there anything that came to you that I didn't give you the opportunity to share, or anything that you think you're going to think about that anymore? I mean, it seems like you already think quite a bit about the self and the experience and your relationship to your thoughts.
Well, it's hard to just like not say something that I've been told, I guess, because during the meditation vipassana I was telling you about, they tell you what the soul is basically. So I understand their logic and I believe their way of thinking.
Do you know how they discovered that?
Because Buddha sat and meditated for days until he discovered it, I guess.
So Buddha, a soul, occupying a body, thought about the soul, thought about it through brain connections, or was interpreting maybe the readout from the brain. And through being a soul, as he thought about the soul, he discovered the soul.
I don't know exactly if he was like going for that. I think he was
Okay.
just meditating.
But these things came
and
from within,
feeling.
it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. And if I asked you, how much do you reckon Neo weighs?
Weights.
Yeah, some poids.
Probably what 80?
What is that, pounds?
80 kilos.
Oh, 80 kilos. No. Okay, so that came from within, right? That's something that occurred to you in your mind. You looked at him.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you wanted to find out, what would you do? Would you meditate on it? What would you do? You wanted to find out how much he weighed?
I'll try to weigh him.
You'll try to weigh him, huh? You'll use tools. You use what we call science.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or use my body. But yeah, my thoughts. I mean, I'm just trying to.
Well, you would use measurement to try to understand the world.
Yeah.
It's basically science. Okay, cool. I think that would be the good way to do it. Okay, so first you had an impression, like a truth that came from in here, from the soul, about the soul, or Buddha did, or anybody did. And then the next step, Neil, okay, I don't even understand what we're getting all excited about. And then the next step would be, okay, let's measure this soul. Let's investigate it, just like we did with the weight.
Yeah.
And then we could call that field soul science. And we would look at emotions and memories and personality and preferences and interpretations and how the soul does all of those things. And then if some doctor came over and said, hey, the soul does all of those things, that's weird. Because I'm the doctor, I'm playing the doctor. Because I just had a patient and he had a head injury and he couldn't do any of those things. Then maybe the soul scientist and the doctor would say, hey, let's team up. Because we've talked about all these features of the soul and all these mechanisms. You're saying that none of that's possible when the brain is damaged? And then maybe they'll rename the field. They'll call it neuro, referring to the brain. They'll call it neuroscience. It'll be the study of the human mind. Huh?
That sounds great.
That sounds really good. Yeah, that sounds really good.
You're coming up with great ideas.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I should tell somebody about these.
Yeah.